What's one of the best ways to see more birds at close range? Well, first of all, let me tell you, it has nothing to do with spending tons of money on fancy optics. Now, don't get me wrong, I love myself a good pair of binoculars, but this tip has nothing to do with that. Instead, it has everything to do with the state of your mind. And in fact, in particular, the quietness of your mind. During today's Mindful Birdsit, we're going to explore an approach to quieting our minds and connecting more deeply with the world around us. I'm Kristi from Bird Mentor, where I help people connect more deeply with birds and nature, while also learning advanced skills while they're at it. If you enjoy this session and want to support this channel, please consider liking and subscribing because it helps the YouTube logarithm align with people who really want to hear this message. All right, without further ado, let's get started. Well, welcome everybody. It's so good to be here with you all. All right, let's just settle in. Today's practice, you can be inside or outside. Inside is actually a little bit, it's not easier, but if you are inside, that's going to be an easy one to be inside for because we're going to be focusing on our breath today and not so much on our eyes and ears. So it doesn't matter if you're hearing anything or seeing anything. But if you are inside, you want to crack a window just to allow yourself to be present to the sounds that are going on outside. That'd be great. And yeah, just let yourself just sink in and just start by feeling your own breath right now, noticing if your breath is expanded and full or if it's a little bit tighter. I know right now mine's a little bit tighter. Maybe just the nervousness of getting started this morning, busy hurrying around. And so what does it feel like to soften that and just to allow the breath to fully fill your lung cavity right now? We can begin by exhaling completely, letting all the air out of your lungs, pushing, 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 and then just let it fill back in naturally and beautifully, just effortlessly back into your body. And doing your best to see how far your breath can reach in all the directions, like down to the tips of your toes, up to the top of your head, even down to your fingertips. So with each breath, trying to expand and stretch a little bit further. Noticing your own heartbeat and your heart rhythm. And so for our eyes today, let's start with, we'll just stay in a simple owl eyes. So find a point off in the distance to look at and let your eyes soften. We're going to shift our attention and our awareness to our ears first. But while we do that, just stay in a nice softened gaze, really allowing your vision to just soften as you expand away from that central point. And now listening in all directions for those ones that you're sharing space with through your ears. So what voices are present on the landscape right now? And they could be human-made voices and sounds, and they could be wild-made voices and sounds. Remembering to listen behind you as well. And now doing your best to stretch your awareness of your listening as far as you can possibly hear. See what the furthest sound is that you can hear right now in this moment. And now shift to another direction. Maybe it's behind you, maybe it's to your left. What's the furthest sound you can hear over in that direction? On your next inhale, become present to the scents and the smells in the air, noticing how they might be new or different this time of year or this day compared to the last time that we sat together. Good work. And so now taking a moment to gaze around your space. And what I want you to do, I'm going to invite you to find one element, one aspect of nature to that just brings you joy, that inspires you now in this moment. What is one part of nature that's just, yeah, lights you up in this moment? And look in each direction. So find one that's in front of you, find one that's behind you so you can turn around, to the right, left, above, and below. So we'll be recalling these later. So just find one element, look around you right now. What inspires you that's in front of you, to your right, to your left? And if it's a piece of, like a piece, if it's an aspect of nature, that's great. It doesn't have to be, but some part of nature would be nice. Good work. And so now if you'd like, you can close your eyes. This would be the time to begin with your eyes closed. If you're going to keep them open, then do your best just to stay in that softened vision without any purpose. Just letting whatever comes to you come without the need to figure anything out if you are going to have your eyes open. So going back to our breath, allowing yourself to feel the breath moving in and out of your body, up and down. Can you feel it as it first enters your nostril, and then as it travels down the back of your throat, into your lungs, expanding into the rest of your body? And so what I'd like you to do next is remember that element or entity that you were drawn to that was in front of you. So I asked you all to look in all directions and find one thing in each direction that inspired you or brought you joy. So remember that first one, or that's just the one that's in front of you. Just call that into your mind right now. Remember what that is. And for a moment, we're going to share our breath with this one. So we'll start with an exhale. So we're going to give the gift of our breath to this one. So exhaling completely. And then when you inhale, you're going to receive the gift of that one's breath into you. And exhaling, giving the gift of your breath to that one. And then inhaling that one's breath into you. And do this a few more times in this direction. And now I'd like you just to imagine that your breath, as you are giving it, is going out to everything in front of you. All of those ones that you might remember who are standing, moving, breathing in front of you. So as you exhale, your breath is going to them. And as you inhale, you're receiving their breath, their gift to you. Good work. And so you can continue to hold those ones in your memory right now, but we're going to shift our attention to that one that inspired you that's behind you right now. So again, it could be a human-made item, but it could also be something living, breathing. Just remembering what that is. And on your exhale, go ahead and gift your breath to that one. And then inhaling its breath as a gift to you. And allowing yourself to do that a few times. And now allowing all of your attention and all of your breath to be gifted to everything that's behind you right now. All of those ones that are living, breathing, and then to receive their breath into you, allowing yourself to fill up with their breath, their gift of breath. Beautiful. So I recently heard someone say, they pose this question, the idea that, there's certain birds and animals and plants that we love to look at and we adore and we give our attention to. And they said, what if the plants and animals loved looking at us, loved gazing at us as well? Just holding that image, that possibility in your mind as we continue on with this practice. So now we're going to give our attention to that one that inspired you on your right hand side. So remembering who that one was, and then giving your breath to that one on your exhale. And on your inhale, receiving its breath into you. Allowing yourself to do this a few times. Great. And now giving your breath to everything on your right hand side, to all the ones living and breathing on your right hand side, and then receiving the breath from them. Lovely. On your next exhale, you're going to give that exhale to the one on your left hand side now. That one that you remembered that inspired you, brought you joy looking at this morning. And then receiving their gift of breath into you. Allowing it to travel fully through your body. Again, maybe touching your toes or the tops of your head. Finding places in your body that you might need to receive or want to receive a gift right now. Places that are a little achy or that maybe you haven't given some attention to, like your little toes, tips of your fingers, maybe your earlobe. And on your next exhale, giving the gift of your breath to everything over there on your left-hand side. Seeing if you can call into your memory all the ones that live over there. And then receiving their breath back into you. Great. And now we're going to shift our attention to the world above us. So, remembering what it was that inspired you when you looked up this morning and giving your breath to that one or ones. Maybe there was more than one up there. And then receiving whatever breath it is that comes your way from that one. Beautiful. Now sending your breath up to everything above you. And then receiving the breath from all those ones that are up in the sky right now. Gifting that into your body as you inhale. Wonderful. And now on your next exhale, you're going to gift that to the earth below your feet or anything that was down below you that inspired you this morning. And on your inhale, receiving the breath from that particular one. And now giving your gift to all those ones that are living in the earth beneath your feet, whether it's on top of the snow or the grass. Maybe it's under the soil. Maybe there's a seed down there that's not yet stirring, but is living, or a little creepy crawly that may be holding up for the winter underneath the soil. So gift your breath to those ones down there right now, and then receive the gift of their breath as it comes and seeps up slowly through the earth. And now let's turn our gaze toward ourselves, finding your center, finding the place in the center of your belly, and just allowing yourself to dwell there, to linger there for a few moments, receiving the gift and the many gifts from all around you, and then giving those also back out. But we'll begin first with just receiving. Allow yourself just to be the center right now and just to receive the gifts from all around you. Imagining all those eyes and ears just adoring you and loving listening to you and looking at you and gifting their breath to you right now. You are the center of their attention. Now, after being so richly gifted with all of their adoring and breath, now it's your turn to gift that same to them. And just staying nice and still in your center and allowing the gift of your breath to radiate all around you in all directions, stretching as far out as you can imagine it going. And now see if you can just allow yourself to feel the ease of reciprocity from your breath to their breaths without trying or efforting, just allowing the ease of your breath as it naturally flows out and the receptivity of the inhale into your body. And just feeling the reciprocity between you and the ones around you. And now with your eyes still closed, I'd like you just to think of a feeling, an emotion, a thought that comes to your mind right now, whatever's present for you, a word to describe this experience, this practice, this moment. And then, nice and slowly, really gently, just go ahead and open your eyes and just be. Just allow yourself to experience the world with your eyes, your ears, and your breath all in tune and aligned. And when you feel ready, you can offer a blessing or good words, a gift of thoughts to those ones that you connected with today. Okay. So, as always, if you need to head out, then feel free to do so. And if you'd like to stay for our chat, you're welcome to do that as well. Thank you for coming. See you, Jacinth. It's good to see you. Yeah. All right. Anyone want to share their experience? Yeah, or Julia, please.
Well, I'm in my usual place on the deck, and there's a red maple right here.
Hmm.
And there's just kind of like one day a year or two when the leaves come off and they're just all over and they're still pretty and red. They aren't dried and curled up yet. And this is it. And I'm just sitting in this, you know, sur- this carpet of leaves on the deck. And so it was nice to, I was giving them thanks and so on. Um, and something came to mind during this practice. I played for a church yesterday, and there was a line in one of the readings that said, I am is a complete sentence. And I'm thinking, especially because of um, a desire to become one with nature, have this, not have this separation, but especially kind of in this practice. Uh, it felt today like I was stretching that muscle, that of the I am, or becoming is still a verb of being, that the breathe anyway. That it was really interesting. Not coincidence. It's nothing. It's not a coincidence, but and a very interesting intersection for me. This practice and kind of stretching that concept of just I am. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Thank you. That's yeah, beautiful thought to ponder there, and especially beautiful with the imagery of the maple, red maple leaves down like surrounding you in this beautiful blanket all around your feet. Oh, look at them. Oh, gosh. That's amazing. Oh, wow. Thanks, Julia. That's full of magic. Yeah. Hmm. Beautiful. Who else would like to share? Looks like Della is leaning
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, go for it, Della.
Well, this morning is just amazing. I have probably 20 birds at any given time here, flitting about and going to the feeders and in the trees and flying in and flying out. And I think that it has a lot to do with an impending storm. Um, we have one of those atmospheric rivers that's hitting Northern California, just a little north of here. And I think that the birds are looking for sanctuary and food to get ready for the storm. So I was just blessed this morning with so many birds, and I the concept of or thinking that those things, those birds, the trees and the garden that I love so much may appreciate me too.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when I read that, I was like, oh, I never thought of it that way. It's like
No.
such sweet thoughts. I mean, why not? Like, why wouldn't it be that way? And again, I think like what Julia was saying, it's another opportunity for us to not feel that sense of separation and connection. It's like you know, we don't really know, but of course, why not? Like if we have this, we're wild human beings, and so if we have this ability to adore and to love and appreciate, like why wouldn't the natural world, have that same or similar, maybe not same, but a similar sort of their own way of loving and appreciating and adoring us? Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful thought. Well, thanks, Stella.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lovely
Yeah.
sit this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackie, please.
Yeah, this was just such a great concept, to think about that. And I've been struggling because some new cats have shown up in the neighborhood and they're getting my birds. And I'm going, how do I have to reconfigure everything? Or should I even be feeding the birds? And again, thinking about, well, what's my negative impact on them instead of, right now, this happens almost all the time with our sits, is that they all come in towards the end here. But the interesting thing at the very beginning was my little inspiration was a curved bill thrasher. And as soon as I sat down, they came, Throckmorton came right in and, walked right by me and dashed over and got a little millet. Um, and I thought, oh, they know the cats won't bother them when I'm out here with them. And right now there's this, adorable Buick's Wren just inches from me. Queenie or Kingsley, they nested here last year. So they had a brood. And so I think that's so lovely to think about that, because it's so easy to feel like as a human, you're just messing things up for everything else instead of, no, they benefit from us too, or they appreciate us, or maybe they're just curious about what we're doing. It makes their lives more interesting, just like when we see them, it makes our lives more interesting. So I really like that concept. And then one other thing, when you were talking about the breathing in and out, and down below me there's rock that was gathered in Abiquiu for making you know, that's the surface out here is blocks of that. And I thought, wow, I wonder if rocks breathe in the sense of, you know, when you think about us anatomically and molecularly, and there's a lot of space, and something that seems solid really isn't. And so, what gets transferred there? So, this was, yeah, made me think about things I hadn't thought about before. So, thank you.
Oh, it's really beautiful. Julia, I just have like this gorgeous image of you with the birds all around you. And they will. I think in a lot of ways when there's another predator around, they appreciate us. You know, they might not always appreciate us. It's not like a, you know, always this way or that way, black and white kind of situation. But I think there certainly are times where our presence makes a really positive difference in their lives. And I don't think about that nearly enough. And so I'm glad that you brought that perspective into this conversation this morning, you know, and just got us all thinking about that. Like, what are the ways that our presence is benefiting the birds? Because yeah, sure, we make a mess of things and make things worse for the wild at times, but there are also ways that, you know, we benefit the wild too. And in fact, there's many species that, you know, you just won't find, you know, away from humans. Some prefer to be away from humans, but other ones they don't. And there can be a lot of diversity around, you know, human settlements and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's an interesting conversation and one that's worthy of considering our place in that, you know, and our place as a gift in that. So thank you for bringing that up. And I just like, yeah, I love that there's the little birds at your feet right now and you're their guardian. That's awesome. Thanks, Jackie. Sweet. Kelly, please.
Uh, I've been wanting to reconnect to my sit spot, and this was just a really beautiful way to do that by embracing all of the directions in such a special way. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. I know you were in a slightly different sort of vulnerability circumstance, you know, having, I don't know if you did close your eyes or not, but when we're sitting in our homes, there's a bit of safety that we have, you know, most of us have like our backs to the house or whatever it is, and maybe a loved one inside, or even if they're not, it's just like we know our surrounding. But by putting yourself out there during a guided meditation and maybe closing your eyes or not, it's like you don't really know who's around and whatever. And so there's something different that can open up for you during that time. And yeah, I just applaud you for attempting that, you know, while you're out there. And it's a beautiful landscape and you know, like yeah, it's just beautiful things can happen out there. And but yeah, I know it can be edgy too. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, well, sweet. Anyone else want to share before? I was just trying to think if there was anything from um, during this morning because I think there was like a bunch of different prompts for me. I wasn't able. So usually I can get like kind of really into it, but this morning I didn't. During our practice, I didn't get as into it, but during my own practice, I really did, and just found, yeah, I think just finding myself like um, thinking about the ones that were in front of me and behind me, and like especially the places that I often forget about, like the above, below, and behind. Those are usually it's like right, left, and in front are the easy ones, you know, but like up, down, and behind are the ones that I tend to forget about. And so it was really good for me to be conscious of my breath going behind and below and above. And that, what's nice about the breath is that it is one of those practices where like if you're inside, if you're in an airport, if you're at a grocery store, if you're wherever, like you don't need to see or hear anything in nature. Like you can just be with your breath and just like imagine like they're all outside, they're all somewhere, you know, all the wild ones that we love, and you can still do this practice while you're, waiting in line at the grocery store or in traffic or something like that, It doesn't have to be like where Kelly was in your beautiful setting out there in Durango by the river, like that idyllic bird sit spot. Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, right as we started, there were I know why they're here too, because I went for a little run yesterday and saw what they were doing, but there was some black and like one or two turkey vultures circling overhead, and there was when we first started, I think it was when we were doing the listening part, and maybe even listening up. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I could hear they were so low, like over the house here, that I could hear their wings flapping. And it was just amazing to start the practice with like something so visceral from the birds in particular. And yeah, yesterday I was curious because I see black and turkey vultures around here once in a while, but I was like, they're so much lower than they usually are. And I went for my run yesterday and I saw that there was like there's a bunch of little ponds around this development, and they were all eating a bunch of dead fish. And I think because we're in South Carolina and we had a freeze this last week, it got really, really cold at night. So I think some of the fish died, and now all the turkey vultures are coming in to feast on them. So, or turkey and black vultures. So it was interesting to kind of like watch their behavior too. I got to watch. I'm always curious about that, kind of like who's the king of the mountain, like when two similar species get together. I did that in Durango a lot with the different jays, because there's so many jays out there. There's like the Steller's jay, the scrub jay. Who else? Kelly, the Clark's nutcracker. Am I missing one? The pinion jay, right? Is there anybody else? Anyway, magpies. But just out of curiosity, whenever they would get, like those species would get together in the same place, I'd always be like, ooh, who's tougher? Like who, I'd have my guess of who I thought was tougher. And in my mind, I thought the turkey vulture would be the tougher one. But what I noticed was that, and they could have been to young black vultures, but the turkey vulture kind of like, sort of with its wings, it's sort of like tough, like, what do you want to say, like bullied some of the black vultures. But then there was this one black vulture that came in and was just like, no, he just kind of like scooted the turkey vulture, and the turkey vulture just, receded immediately and like gave way, submitted, I suppose you could say, submitted to the black vulture immediately. And I was like, yeah, I got that vibe that like the black vulture was on top. And maybe it was just because there was like one turkey vulture to like 8 black vultures or something. I don't know. But anyway, those kind of relationships always make me super curious. And so it was just fun to spend a little time with them yesterday, watching that behavior and just like, yeah, just wondering about their lives. Anyway, it's really good to see you all again. It's so good to be back here and missing New Mexico as well. Jackie, like send our love to the land out there, please. And yeah, we'll see you all. Wait, I know we're getting close to Christmas. I think next week we're still good to go. I think it's like the 23rd or something. Let me just check on my calendar and I can just give you the update for the whole month. All right, today's the 16th. Yeah, 23rd. I'll still do one on the 23rd. If some of you, I'm sure, have like holiday plans already with family or something like that, then do whatever you need to do. But I'll be here on the 23rd. It's sort of, I don't know why I say technically, but like I'm making it officially our 100th bird sit. I know there's some I missed posting and whatever, but I think that one, like, whatever, it's going to be the 100th bird sit. We're probably like plus or minus a day or a sit here or there, but it'll be the 100th bird sit will be next week. And then, yeah, and then the 30th, I guess it's not new. Yeah, so I think we're good to go for this month, the 23rd and the 30th. We're missing the holidays on all of those. So I'll see you next week, yeah? All right, everybody, have a beautiful week.
So I just wanted to say, I've decided for the new year, I'm going to start with the very first bird sit and recordings and do one every day.
What a good idea.
Yeah. So maybe would enjoy doing that too.
Yeah, I'd love to hear. I think like it's cool because I think like what we do and did like has altered and shifted and changed, and I'd be so curious like what you think of the progression of it all, you know? Yeah. Sweet, Jackie. Well, good for you. That's inspirational. Yeah.
Thanks
Well
so much, everybody. I love you.
Yeah, you too. All right, everybody have a great week.
Thank you.
See you.